Is it? You see it now? Damn it! It's showing live now. Try to go back to it. It's a different stream now. Yo, wait 1 second. I texted Brandon about the fucking COVID shit. I was like, my worst decision I ever made was getting that shot. He said, "Bro, are you special needs? It's connected to COVID." Pissed me off. I'm telling you. I wish I would have just kept getting sick and said fuck it. Like my mom convinced me. She's like, take the shot. And then as soon as I got it, they disappeared out of my life. Don't listen to old people. No, do listen to old people, but I'm just talking crap. But
I was like, man, I feel like I'm feeling myself.
yeah, no, that's what I did basically. Offer a job that I don't even work no more.
Damn.
That shit sucks. But
Yeah, I feel you.
that's the only reason I was doing that shit. Cause like, oh, you have to have the. I needed to find some religion and pick it up. I needed to find a religious exemption. I was tripping. I should have grew a beard, but I can't. Had a little chin goatee. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't taking that. But so we back on. Next time I guess I just won't stream it. That might help. But just on the YouTube, it should be up. I'm gonna just label out the stuff, and if y'all want to pull up your trading view to see if you could possibly label it too, for the sell side. So we had the 1 hour run, and if you have any questions now, you can ask me also. 1 hour run. Now we're gonna go to the 5 minute run. Okay, so 5 minute run is gonna be any part of price action candle or wick that is run by another 5 minute candle. So this could be considered a 5 minute run right here. 5 minute run. It's a run or stop hunt. It's up to you. 5 minute run / stop hunt. And that's something we could research more to just understand better, like what is a liquidity run or what is a stop hunt. But we got the 1 hour run, the 5 minute stop hunt. Now for the breaker, right? You can do this multiple ways, and this one you'd probably have to go to a little bit lower time frame. So I'm gonna just add like the 3 minute just to see if it's clearer on there. Okay, let me see here. Okay, so for the breaker, you can do it like I said a few different ways. For the sell side this time.
My thing rotate.
Let's see. 3 minute. Let me go into 1 minute just to be sure there's not a.
What is going on? Oh, there you go. I actually think Zoom would be good.
Zoom would probably be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could try it. It's just that Zoom only lets you do 45 minutes. So just.
Or as recording ones.
Oh, recording. I see what you're saying. That might be. I think even just hosting a session, they let you do 45 minutes, and I think recording, I don't even know. I was trying to record it to where it didn't save on my computer, so I could just have it like in another database. But to be quite honest with you, this one is not as clean, but it's still available. You just have to zoom down to a lower time frame. So on the 1 minute, there is a breaker block, like the last set of up close candles in that downtrend. And this is why I say, like, I just prefer the 5 minute ones, because the 5 minute ones align more with the overall time, the higher time frame. Breaker block, it's going to be a 1 minute.
Right. My YouTube is like a minute behind.
Oh, damn.
It is what it is.
My fault.
I'll catch up. Yeah, you really gotta keep on clicking live. That was I was just doing.
Damn. So this one is not as clean, so it's all right. This one is just gonna have a 1 minute breaker, and then it's gonna have a 1 minute fair value gap that you could have took for a short term trade. and then there's going to be another one where it runs liquidity again. And the difference is the 5 minute is just more reliable. With this one, you would have had a trade potentially, and if you took it from the breaker block fair value gap overlap and you put your stops above the high, it's about 20 points risk. With the $2 NQ, that's about $40. And then for the take profit, you could aim for like a recent low for about a 1.8 return, 1.8 to 1 return. So then you're targeting about $40 for 20, right? Or excuse me, $80 for 40. It's basically about a 2 to 1. And then price came back and took out that high again. So then that started back over the model. And then when price broke down, you could look for entries, but it's not as clean. Although there is another entry in that same fair value gap area that you could have took for about the same risk reward again.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Can you see it?
Uh-huh.
So, but you know, you could do a lot of 1 minute stuff, and I used to do more of it. But for now, I prefer 5 minute. It's just more reliable. We could look at ES as well. ES might have had a cleaner structure that we could have taken advantage of. So I'm just going to go into ES and we just do like a little quick markup. So with ES, it never ran the 1 hour high. But what we can see on ES that is a little intriguing is this right here is a 1 hour breaker, right? So potentially price could reverse out of this area and go higher. And if it does, we're targeting this high. If we go down to a lower time frame to say, okay, where's the 5 minute version of the breaker to support maybe a lower time frame entry? We can mark off very similar to NQ. Here's a breaker right here, 5 minute breaker. And once you understand breakers, Dominic, and fair value gaps, it's gonna be just water. Because even if it just takes some time. And I'm gonna send you the video again, and I'm gonna make my own version of the video, but I think I'm gonna also crop some stuff from these videos when my baby's crying in the back. That's why it makes it good. Here we go. So 5 minute breaker, got the 5 minute fair value gap. So you can see on ES and NQ, it pretty much presented the same entry. And then price reacted out of it a lot. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About 55 minutes to get that one. And then the initial one down here, you would have had to be quick, but this one appears cleaner. 5 minute cleaner. Right? So for the sell side one, it wouldn't have been as clean. If you put a fib from the high to the low, you could have possibly took a sell once price went into a premium, right? But again, this is not a high probability trade to me. It is something you could have done though. But if we just zoom out from a higher time frame perspective, there's potential for this to me to keep running up. And then SMT is when you have, I'm gonna label it just to show it. Let's see, where's the arrow? Sorry, 1 second. Arrow. So when you have on ES, it's showing the low to the high is mimicking like a higher low kind of structure. On NQ, right, it is doing a similar thing. So technically for smart money SMT, it kind of needs to be doing a little bit of the opposite. And then that kind of gives you the idea that one is lagging. So on the top side of this NQ, it kind of looked like it did a lower high, while versus on ES, it's still basically the same thing. So to me, the SMT is not really strong. It could be stronger on other days, but let's see. Either way, even though it's not perfect, there are other entries you could have taken to maybe go long. You could go to a little other higher time frames and mark up other fair value gaps. So right here is a fair value gap. You could have taken a long out of here. 15 minute. But essentially the best trades, they already came. And then you gotta just understand time and price. So between that 9:30 to 11, you're gonna get like the best setups. Today it presented a little bit earlier, but again, if you just look at the times that it came, in 9:05, 9:30 gave that perfect retest. And then you can just sit and watch price. Now it's gonna do another expansive move for the day. But for me, I would probably just sit out because Friday is like my lowest probability day. But I just wanted to kind of show some of the entry checklist like happening. So we looked at the 1 hour run, 5-minute stop hunt, the 3 to 5 minute breaker and fair value gap, the potential entries. Now for the sell side, you would have to go on that lower time frame. So it's not as clean. But if you're already on a lower time frame, you can see how this model you can use it at multiple different times. Let's say, for instance, even here, I'm going to mark up another one. Here goes like a 1 minute breaker, and then I'll show you the fair value gap. So the main thing is the overlap. You want overlap. That overlap is the confluence that you need. Confluence is just multiple things, multiple reasons for entry overlapping. So you got the breaker and fair value gap, because this set of green candles caused this melt. So it's considered a breaker. We broke past it here, and then the fair value gaps could be right. You could have multiple. You could have one here to take a trade here, or you could have one here. So if you just put a long position, let's say in this box, and you're targeting the high, right? That's about 23 points. If you put your stop under the low, 11. So it's a 2-to-1 just in this 1 minute. So you have to manage your risk, but if you put one contract in NQ, it's about $46. Let's say you went 2 contracts deep, you can make about $80. 3 contracts, 120. Just in this little 1, 2, it's a 2 candle movement. So you'd have to be quick about it and have limit orders. Also on the fair value gap on the bottom side, you could either use the full low, or you could use this low to the left, or you could use the candle that created the fair value gap as the stop. So this one could have a tight stop at about 7 points for $14, and the TP should have been a breaker block or the highs. So that breaker from before, ICT says the best trading is breaker to breaker. 1 second. Here.
You going away a lot, right? You took the ketchup.
But essentially, everything I showed on the higher time frame, you can find a lower time frame version. You just got to think if you're okay. We were using the 1 hour and the 5 minutes. So if we're using this 1 minute, you could look for a run on liquidity. I'm sorry, on the 15 minute, right? So you could frame the beginning of the trade from a 15-minute basis. Is there another bottle frame, or like a water in the other bottle? I think he's tired or something. He probably missed the trade. He's upset. But let me see. So essentially, we can go to another pair and just mark up really quick. If you guys ever traded gold, it's called MGC. And we can go and look for a potential trade there as well. Those trades typically, yeah, MGC. So GC is really gold contracts, but M is for micro, so micro gold contracts. I think this trade's better during like Asian and London. So that's a pair that we could look to find a trade on. I'm gonna clean it up and then find a model as well. Let's see. So what we're looking for, I'm just gonna I'm not going to do it based on time. I'm just going to do a general area that's ran like a 1 hour run. So this area here was ran by this candle, by this wick. So this is a 1 hour run. He's probably tired because he got up earlier compared to yesterday. 1 hour run. And then the 5 minute on MGC, right? For the 5 minute run, you can look for pretty much anything after this run. So this wick being ran is considered a 5 minute run as well. And then you can also look for a candle body 5 minute run. So this area being ran, here's a 5 minute. This area being ran, here's a 5 minute. But let's just say hypothetically this is the 5 minute run. Because we're just looking at a set of 5 minute candles to be ran. And the thing is, think about it like this. If you're not looking for the 1 hour run, there's a whole bunch of 5 minute runs. So that's why you want to have the 1 hour run first, because that's going to confirm there's probably a reversal on the higher time frame, then the 5 minute one, because then you're looking for the lower time frame reversal. Okay? And then now for the breaker block. So for this one, it really would just depend on how you're looking at price. There may be others on the lower time frames. So it's going to be, a breaker block is going to be the last set of candles that are different from the trend. So if we're looking at a bearish trend, it'll be right here. This is the last set of green candles for a breaker on the 5 minute. And gold has a lot more stuff going on the lower time frames. So 5 minute breaker. We already got the 1 hour run. We got the 5 minute stop hunt. There's a 5 minute breaker here. Additionally, this big one is going to be a breaker too. But essentially, any overlap of this area with a fair value gap can be considered an entry. So if you waited all that time and you didn't get in, right? And then price finally breaks it, comes back. Here's a 5 minute fair value gap. This happened during London. From at 325 I retested it. You could have also took it. I mean, 325 would have been the ideal time. And this is if you're up during London. 2 to 4. So the 5 minute breaker, the 5 minute fair value gap. If you went on lower time frames, you'd be able to catch these. Just for instance, here's another 5 minute fair value gap. Here's another 5 minute fair value gap. Price pushes here. Here's another 5 minute. Here's a gap, and also there's also a fair value gap. So all those could have been reasons for entry, but you would have had to go on the lower time frame even more to essentially find that breaker. And also, this area here, right, is considered a breaker because price shot up. So this also is a breaker. So breakers are really just where price actually takes off from. And then basically any fair value gap within a breaker can be used. So like this breaker, there's another fair value gap here. So you could have got in at 205. And usually that's what you'll see. At 9:30, immediately you'll be able to get in, AM or PM. At 2 o'clock, typically AM or PM, you usually be able to get in. So fair value gap, hypothetically, just to show you how much more this moves. So if you took the trade in the middle of this fair value gap during a London session, so this is at 2:05 in the morning, and you put your stop, you can have your stop in multiple places. Below a recent low or below the candle that created the fair value gap. Right? So if it's below the candle that created the fair value gap, that's a 1.7 point stop loss. And gold contracts, I believe, are about 5 for the micro. Is he hungry? Maybe you could give him some snacks or something, or breakfast. So you could round it out to 2. So if it's 5, it's about $10 risk on one contract. And then for target, you can target the highs. Are y'all there? I just want to confirm. My fault.
Still here.
I know I'm going over a lot, but it's it'll make more sense eventually. Eyes. So we're targeting previous highs, right? So potentially the risk on this would have been $10 for 16 times 5, $80. So this would have been an 8-to-1 risk reward trade potentially. And this is off the 5-minute. Then there's another entry here, right, that you could have gotten in, or even stacked another entry on top of that. And then that one goes for about if you put the stop loss below that wick of the candle that create the fair value gap. I don't know if you can see that, but 2.4 times 5, so about $10 to $11 risk to make about $45 potentially. 5 times 15, about $45 TP. You could have got out earlier. You could enter more trades at other areas such as here where there's like a fair value gap. Also, this would be considered a breaker here. So pretty much this model can be used non-stop, and it's just really up to you when you're going to stop using it, or like when you're going to stop taking trades. But you'll see over time, just looking in the charts, once you can start seeing more breakers and fair value gaps, you'll see other entry areas. So that's for gold. There was a lot to do for gold. And now you could see in New York session, it's not as clean because gold really does well during Asian and London. So I think this is Asian from like 8. This is 8:30. This entry came at about 9:30. What did I say about 9:30? So 9:30, price took off, came back at about, this is about midnight. Then price went again. Price came back at 2, took off again, and then price came back at 3:30 and then took off. So, and even here, this is about 5 and change. Not the best entry because if we're looking at this entire move, right, we're going to put a fib. You could put a fib level here from the top to the bottom. You don't really want to be entering buys after the 50% level because at that point we're in a premium. So like the buys here would have probably been the last set of buys, and the premium versus discount, it just means the 50% region is important. So above here is premium, below here is discount. Price is here, so that's fine. We can enter, and then up here, you'd have to just enter at your own risk and just have your stop tight. And again, this time frame is something. The time I wouldn't have been trading at 5 and change, no, but 2 to 4, yes. 2 to 4 p.m., yes. 9:30 to 11, yes. And that's just for gold. Did you have any questions, maybe?
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the on YouTube.
No, you're good. So what I can do is we can hop off for now. And then you could watch some of the video and see some stuff. And then any questions you have, put them in the questions chat. But essentially, the model is the same. It's always going to be like a 1-hour run, 5-minute stop hunt, 5-minute breaker, 5-minute fair value gap. If you want to use it on a lower time frame, then you would lower everything. So you'd then do a 15-minute run. Then let's say like a 1 to 5 minute stop hunt, a 1 to 5 minute breaker / fair value gap, and then you just have to manage risk on the lower time frame. But essentially, it's the same thing over and over again. So I'm just gonna end it for now, and then I'm gonna come back probably later and just show the same thing to a few more people. And then on another one, I'll do different price. You feel me? I'll go backwards and we'll look at other prices. But you could see how you could have possibly bought today and possibly sold. And then for MES, like I said, price is still kind of teetering up. I think there is potential for us to continue to go up, but we'll just have to see. But I appreciate y'all hopping on. I know I said from like 10 to 1, but considering the stuff, just like review the video, hit me up with examples or any questions. I could send you more videos specifically on 1-hour run and the 5-minute stop hunt. But that's really it. But I appreciate y'all boys.
Appreciate